Welcome to the Holy Land Dispatch podcast. In recent days alone, crazy leftists compared a jeans commercial and redistricting in Texas to the Holocaust. This is packed onto the endless use of the greatest tragedy the Jews and others experienced in modern history as a tool in the hands of idiots.
The roots of evil.
Remember when Trump held a rally in Madison Square Gardens, and all mainstream media, and as an extension, the whole of social media went absolutely insane with rage? This is the same place where almost 100 years ago, some really stupid people held a different rally, they said. Obviously, Trump is just like the H-man. Remember when the witches on The View and the rest of the Pravda-esque media reminded us all that Hitler was also elected democratically, then killed democracy? Well, obviously, since Trump was elected democratically, the next step would be to kill democracy. It goes on and on and on, and after some really unintelligent people called an American Eagle commercial Nazi propaganda, this time it was some wacko comparing redistricting efforts in Texas to the Holocaust, no less. And Don Lemon, who listens to this absolute garbage, just nods in agreement. What is the root of this evil? Did all these people skip history lessons?
Quick history lesson.
Let's review the facts and see how far the left has deviated from any kind of a righteous path. What we're about to do is look at 10 glaring differences between Nazi Germany and present-day USA. 1. First, let's clear the slate on that bogus Hitler was also elected democratically nonsense. First of all, Hitler wasn't elected by the people to be the chancellor. He was invited by the president and very quickly seized power. Yes, on paper, there were democratic elections after that, but on the ground, they were very far from free. Hitler used militias and terrorized, killed, or deported opponents and impacted the democratic election by brute force. So to put this lie to rest, no, Hitler was not elected democratically. Trump, on the other hand, did. And so did every president before him, as will the ones after. 2. Nazi Germany was a totalitarian state under the exclusive control of the Nazi Party, with all other political parties banned. The U.S. maintains a multi-party democratic system with regular elections. How do we know that Trump will relinquish power? Because he already has in the past, even when he felt that he was cheated. 3. Führerprinzip, or leader principle. Nazi Germany operated under the absolute authority of Adolf Hitler, where his word was law, overriding all institutions. The U.S. has a constitutional system with checks and balances across executive, legislative, and judicial branches. So I believe we can stop pretending like Trump has some kind of presidential superpowers. 4. Racial purity laws, Nuremberg laws. Nazi Germany enforced laws like the 1935 Nuremberg laws, which stripped Jews and other groups of citizenship and prohibited intermarriage based on racial ideology. The U.S. has no equivalent racial purity legislation with legal protections against discrimination. This doesn't change under Trump, so let's chill, eh? 5. Lebensraum policy. Nazi Germany pursued territorial expansion to create living space for ethnic Germans, justifying invasions of neighboring countries. The U.S. under Trump, or any modern president, does not have a comparable policy of territorial conquest for demographic expansion. 6. Nazi Germany required all Aryan youth to join the Hitler Youth or League of German Girls for ideological and military training. The U.S. has no mandatory state-run youth organizations for ideological indoctrination. Even the vilified MAGA movement is very optional and in no way resembles the Hitler Youth. 7. How about the topic of freedom of speech? Well, I think we can summarize this by wondering what would happen if a group of German students in Nazi Germany would demonstrate in the University of Berlin against the values of the Nazi regime. 8. Or how about the right to bear arms? In Nazi Germany, as far as I can remember, this right was reserved only for, Nazis. In fact, the Second Amendment was created specifically to give the people power against tyranny. 9. Have you heard of the T4 euthanasia program? Nazi Germany systematically murdered disabled individuals deemed unfit under a state-sponsored euthanasia program. I believe Trump and MAGA are so much against euthanasia that it's actually the left who hates him for that. 10. Now, I may be a bit off on this one, but can someone please direct me to the nearest American concentration or death camp? No? Is it because they do not exist?
Back to the roots of evil.
So I think we demonstrated very clearly how the USA is, in fact, not in any way, shape, or form like Nazi Germany, and how, in no way, shape, or form, can American policies under Trump be compared to the Holocaust. In fact, doing so is not only cynical, because let's face it, it's not that the left didn't attend history lessons. It's because they knowingly ignore it. It's pernicious. To use the Holocaust in that way serves to only cheapen the argument and demonstrate what kind of person the accuser actually is. Thank you for watching and listening to the Holy Land Dispatch podcast. Please help us grow by liking, commenting, and sharing this episode.